Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the OneMap API workshop. Some of you may be already very familiar with OneMap. For the rest, OneMap is an open source national map of Singapore developed by Singapore Land Authority with a high level of accuracy. I'd like to introduce our speaker, Kyros from the OneMap team, who will speak to you about how you can use OneMap APIs. Over to you, Kyros.
Hello everybody. So good afternoon everybody. So welcome to OneMap API workshop. So for this workshop is quite technical for a bit. So let me drive down to the PowerPoint slide first. Let me share my PowerPoint slide screen. So hope you guys can able to see my PowerPoint right now. So let me go to the full screen. So I'm a assistant manager of OneMap team for the infra and the backend lead. So okay, so what is OneMap? OneMap is the WOG mapping platform that to serve all the updated geospatial information and services to the public and as well as the industry players. So for the history of the OneMap, back in 2010 in March, so OneMap version 1 is launched. So we use the S3 product to develop this OneMap platform. So in 3 years ago, in October 2017, we launched our OneMap 2. So you are looking at the OneMap 2 right now. So furthermore, the next generation of OneMap is OneMap 3D. It will be launched in this month. So in the following weeks, you will see the soft launch of the beta launch of the OneMap 3D in September. So about the OneMap is a very first initiative. Is a major first initiative of Singapore National Geospatial data infrastructure. So basically, let me go to the next slide. So design of OneMap is we adopt WGS84. Those people who are not sure about mapping platform, WGS84 is a Google standards, Google Map standards that you can easily overlay Google Maps like OpenStreetMaps or Here Map or etc. So they adopt these standardized over the OneMap. So we adopt this same mechanism, so you can overlay like outside Singapore. If let's say you serve like your business outside Singapore, you can easily overlay your map into with the OneMap. So we built in a microservices architecture. So it's like, for example, if let's say one component down, it doesn't affect others. OneMap modules is running in the background. Like for example, there's an issue in reverse geocode. So only the reverse geocode will be not able to serve up this payload to the end user. So like for example, like the search endpoint, you can able to continue to search, get some data. So we built in an open source technology. So there's no licensing and there's a open source community support over there. So I have the question that in the chat. Yes, OneMap adopting WGS84. So it's like we have a projection of 4326 and 3857. So basically our data is 4326. So for the OneMap search, does it say school only? However, we don't have this school filtering. Like for example, you search like Ang Mo Kio, like let's say a school, primary school name, right? It will able to appear in the search result. But we don't give you like, for example, drill down to the school specific, because this is the MOE data. So why OneMap doesn't support lower version of Android 6 or 7? Because this is very outdated. So we only support 8 version 8 and beyond. So we have like OneMap for the SDK, we use Mapbox SDK. So if you want to have like more technical inquiry about that, you can straight away like email us in the generic email. So our technical support team, application team will help you to like further investigate that. Okay, we have a lot of technical issue. I mean technical question over here. So okay, about the data set, right? We don't have, okay, because OneMap data set thematic layers, right, is more meant for focus on the government agency, I mean government authoritative data set. So supermarket is more on like, you know, commercialized. So basically we get this information, right, is like from the open source community, or we buy, we get like some licenses from this commercial entity to look into our OneMap. So about the updatedness, we need to like, for example, every yearly or quarterly, we need to purchase the license from them and able to update the data set. So about downloading, however, we don't have any downloads for that, but in the thematic layers, you can able to see which layer OneMap dataset can be downloaded in our OneMap.sg website. So about WOG machine for OneMap, basically we don't have any like intranet per se support for that, only for internet device only. But if you want to have like your WOG internal network to consume OneMap, you need to sign up like, you know, Apex connectivity in that point of concept. Okay, so I will move on to my slides. So about this coding, about our belief is more on like we design our web application and web application. I mean, your web application should follow your best practices, like coding practices and secure coding, like standardized and you know, those kind of like checklists. Then you can use our OneMap API to also properly use the OneMap API. So this is an important links that you can take note of. So about the registration page right now, we are facing some mailing issue throughout to the internet because our infrastructure is internal network. So we have some challenges that we do the remote SMTP protocol outside the world. So basically, you want to sign up. If you are a new user, want to sign up, you can surely drop us in the generic email that I will flash later. And documentation page is our docs that OneMap over here. Swagger is more on developers use only, like for example, to check all the response, the data, or you can try. I will give you a glance for it. And we have a GitHub page that consists of like authentication module and some sample of like, you know, iOS and Android, that kind of sample. And we also have the web-based sample as well. So I will give you some lookup for like, if you use our leaflet, OneMap leaflet JS, that what you can see like for some trial purpose, I can show you later. So about OneMap API tokenize, means span life is 3 days. So every like 72 hours, you have to refresh in your application. So it's a lot of user like asking us, right, why this thing, like for example, will expire 3 days. Why not 24 hours, not forever? So because of security reason, if let's say the infrastructure or your account being compromised, right, we can surely refresh it. So if let's say you have a permanent token, so it's very hard to like, for example, fresh everybody in the whole architecture. Okay, so so we have to do like, you want to have a refresh of token, we have the module, authentication module in our GitHub to use for like Windows platform, Linux platform, and as well as Mac OS if I'm using that. So next slide. Okay, let me click on the next slide. Okay, so best practices is you can, as I say earlier, you can use the authentication module, or you can cache your API token in a middleware layer. So your other application of your controller can able to use it to reuse for your others like submodule. So we recommend you to refresh the expiry within 50 hours to 70 hours. So some common error that account for API account upon registration or get token. So like for example, you are not a authorized user per se, your account is not activated for the main reason. So if you have any issue or like, like for example, just some technical issue can drop in the generic email over here, onemap@sla.gov.sg, or you can drop into our discussion forum at discuss.onemap.sg. Okay. So current issue that I earlier mentioned, that is registration and the reset password issue of the external SNTP server. So recent changes, we have revamped our health status page. That means you can see all the others like APIs, endpoint, whether available or unavailable. So we also like revamp the registration page, but unfortunately right now it's not available for the sign up. So we have to do the manual sign up processing. And the endpoint for the BaseMap endpoint, we have been replaced by the map proxy, as you see in the second following lines. So for the security aspects for OneMap infrastructure, we have a DDoS, we have a DMS service. Then we also protect the cross-site scripting, the CSRF. This is all mandated through through the government IM8 that we have to follow in the security purpose, and we use the extent of the SSL security to comply the policy, as well as we need to have the we have the enable the HSTS. So you need to have a self-signed cert or a valid SA certificate in order to do a success handshake for SSL. And we are using 1.2 and above for TLS. So let me see whether, okay, can OneMap support vector tiles? Right now we are in the midst of developing the vector tiles with the another industry player. So we are trying to deploy this thing in the next generation of OneMap 3D. So for now, we are still looking at a pilot test for the OneMap 2. For about the PowerPoint slide, we have to get some clearance from our management in order to like disseminate this PowerPoint slide. I think we can able to disseminate this PowerPoint slide to the participant that over in this webinar. So next. So, okay, now back to some technical part. If you are a developer or a SI or whatever, so imagine you are a logistic company that like, car sharing app. So imagine you are a kindergarten car sharing app company. So you want to like fetch these children back and forth from their kindergarten childcare. So basically, this is my scenario for this PowerPoint slide. So we have the API services that is really accessible. What it meaning by that is non-token based. So you don't need to have a API account to consume this. So it's search continuous converter, which is all the WGS. Singapore projection is SVR21 is WGS 3414. So you can convert into a WGS standard, WGF84 standard. So static map is where is a PNG. So is you can able to like copy and paste the PNG into your website, just a PNG of your location, your serve location or your branch location. So search, right? Okay, basically is like, for example, if you go to our OneMap.sg, you can see like, for example, you search for new town, then it should really give you the all these search result up to 100 pages. if your search is not very in-depth. So it's better to do some in-depth search to straight to the point of what you going to search. So search consists of addresses, bus stop, point of interest, and postal code. So you can use like, you know, the Swagger, or you are using a postman, you can actually enter this endpoint. Your, like for example, your search value is like, let's say revenue house, you can straight type some partial address over there, so you can get the result. So later I will show you the walkthrough is using the Swagger online. So the Swagger link is below, developers.onemappswagger. So our API token is some capacity is 250 API call per minute. So you can access more than 100 endpoints of including thematic layers. You can see the more of this in the documentation page. If you are worried about beta launch or your application launch, like you are new to OneMap, so you can able to like ask for a temporary increment of your account, so we can straight away like approve that or whatsoever, but it's based on case-to-case basis. But you need to specify what is the your background of your application works and what you going to do. So let me see, is there any like okay, is it possible to download the address or place data first directly? We only serve through API. We don't sell like data. We do license some data data set for address, but that is a separate part out of the box. Because for this OneMap is free to use, but you want to download the address, is more like you need to buy the license, data license from SLA. Okay, so next, if I miss out some of the question, I will come back later. So reverse geocode is more on like you don't know what is the address, but you know what is the lat long or XY of the coordinates. So you can use this to reverse the full address. So that is reverse geocode. It requires token, of course. So next. So it consists of building, road segment, and like other features like ponds, reservoir, etc. So that is the link below. Is everything is a Swagger in the endpoint. These all the API endpoints. So for thematic layers, we have over 100 plus that you see in our web portal OneMap.sg. You can see all the classification, the categorized, like for example environment, dengue cluster, or ASMS machine, etc. So that is all the thematic layers that you can able to plot down, whether is it polygon or points. You can always use this API to overlay to your data set. Okay, next. So for example, for this car sharing scenario for the kindergarten, so you can straight put the kindergarten query name over there. So in order to know what is the available thing, you can use the teams info, get teams info to list or get all teams layers to know which one is it available to use in the API endpoint. So let me see whether I have what. API for OneMap is totally free of charge. For this instance, like okay, for the car sharing thing, like for example, you want to component, like for example, east of north, south, east, west of the Singapore. So Singapore is using planning area. We don't have those like data for like town council, that kind of GRC, that one, because it's more of like very sensitive data. So we don't have this data as a JSON payload or whatever. It's more on a BaseMap layer. If you want to have like output like JSON output, we have these planning areas. So like for example, you have like Ang Mo Kio, you go through like the subzone of Ang Mo Kio. So this is like the API for population query that you can able to take out for those statistics from the DOS. That means this data is getting from contributed by Department of Statistics. Okay, let me see the. Okay, for the sharing of a slide, I will talk to our OneMap management to able to like share to you guys about this technical workshop. Okay, for routing, so like for example, like PT, okay, public transport, driving, cycling, and walk, right? Basically, you can straight put in the lat long and the end point of the lat long, like you can see over here. The starting point, the end point of the lat long, and what is the mode drive, and what is the date and the time, and your access token. Then you should have the result of the journey of the trip. So basically, you can use this one to guide your user. But we don't have those like narrative turn to turn basis. So this one you have to implement by your own using the output of the JSON output. So for the OneMap mobile app that those people who are already installed, we are looking into like turn by turn navigation narration in our this thing. So for the routing currently is not very traffic aware per se, like not like the Google that kind of routing, like for example like accident breakdown, then we route over here. We are trying to integrate this information through data logoff from the LTA data more to integrate this traffic aware as well. But we are also considering to open source this traffic aware to external people to contribute, like for example the waste, right? Like that kind of technology to improve our routing system. Okay, so let's see. Okay, our base map is using WGS 3857 is true, but our data is 4326. So basically, we do positioning for the points to accurate with the 3857 perspective. Because it's whether is it field or flat surface. So our data is the flat surface, then the map is like sphere surface. So if you want to use like other projection, we have the the WMTS, WMS or whatever, you can able to use each of the 3857 or 4326. But our basic SYZ, the sleepy map is 4326 projection. Okay, so this is a sample module that you can use for decoding the polylines of the routing into your application. So like for example, static map, just now I say it's just a PNG, so you can show it like SRX, they use the static map to implement their properties information over there. So tools for you to use, like be it okay, BaseMap creator is more like interactive. You can pan around, click and pan around, zoom in, zoom out. That is a minimap. For advanced minimap is with reverse geocoding, so you can also integrate with routing capabilities. So you can look for that if you want to use that. Then for the static map is the PNG, that kind of like image. So minimaps is this is how it look like. You can specify the dimension. You can specify the search attribute, what is the zoom level, what is the design of the map, and you can create your own pop-up information. So advanced minimap include like it's the same as a minimap but with the routing purpose, etc. And the static map is you can really draw all the points, the polyline, or the information over here. You can play around with it. So for the helper page, helper libraries is more on like what is some of the technology stack that we use or our industry player or other people use to excel their application. So you can check out with the helper library in the link over here in the documents, in the docs or one directory, everything is over there. So this is a BaseMap API. So you can actually use up to 5 BaseMap: default, night, gray, original, and landlord for those like property agent. Okay, so let me check with the Q&A. Right, okay, routing direction using cycling feature. So, okay, for the cycling part is don't have the cycling aware yet. So basically we use like recommended PCM path. Then if not, we go to like those like shared walking way like with pedestrian. Then we also avoid, of course, avoid the expressway thing. So this is like this is how we able to adapt. So about the search, the API, if you type a car park number or bus stop number, it's more on bus stop number. That means bus stop, the five digit of bus stop number. For car park number, we don't have this information in our search data. So you can able to join this like forum, technical forum that is a discussion. So you can like share your expertise for your technical things over there in our discussion, discuss.onemap.sg. So like if you have technical thing, like related to OneMap is more on us, or related to the others, then you can relate over there. So this is my contact, and this is the generic email and discussion forum. So if I'm not sure I have the enough time, I don't think I have enough time. I think I can actually browse through the developer stuff very quickly. So basically, if you have the account, you can actually authenticate by Postman. Then you can actually use the token that reply over there. Then after that, you can copy and paste into your middleware or whatsoever that I say mention about the coding practices. So like after I copy, let me show you how it look like over in the application wise. Let me show you like, okay, after you do that, you can actually paste your token over here. This is our sample code that we in the GitHub, so I can show you how it look like. So this is our using our OneMap plugin for the JS. So you can actually easily call the OneMap function over there. So this is how it look like. Let me switch to my browser. Sorry, this is a lot of back and forth of the information. So basically, once you have that, like for example, you can actually overlay your base map with like OpenStreetMap. Then this is your Singapore map and some of the subzone of the map. Then if you have like other function, you can actually call like this is a output. You no need to have the so-called token. So if you have a token, like for example, you have paste correctly. So this is all the kindergarten area. Then for the API, so can straight away put all the payload over here. So this is the example of the payload. And for Swagger, just now I show you the Swagger. Like for example over here, when I want to do the tryout function for the search, I can actually put a revenue, then actually execute. So this is the result of the payload. Okay, and if let's say I have a token, I already paste my token over here. So like for example, I execute like the reversal code of the token. What is the lat long over here? So I want to know what is the address. I can say this is a Newtown Primary School. So you can really use this payload to able to like return to your application. So we have like, you know, the GitHub, we have this is the sample code that I use for just now. I show you all the capability for the JS, and this is the status page of the OneMap endpoint API that you can see available or unavailable. And this is our documentation page for OneMap. And that's it for, okay, and this is the discussion forum that you can put technical posts over there. So that is it for my thing. Let me go through
Right,
the
Kyros, there's
Q&A.
one last question here in the Q&A box.
Yep. Okay, so question by Mio, is it? Oh no.
In the Q&A box.
Okay, Q&A box, sorry. So, okay, for the direction choose on the map to get destination more than, okay, get destination more than 10 kilometer, right? Like for example, because behind the backend, we have to use a lot of computation power. So basically, it's better to have like drill down to the component. Like for example, let's say very near to the point A and point B of the routing, then you can actually use that. But if you want to do like thematic layers with the 10 kilometers, right, it's very hard for you to drill down the into the smaller component.
All right, thanks very much, Kyros, for the informational session. And thank you everyone for participating. We hope you found the session to be useful. Do join us for the next webinar that's run by NPAX. They are also a user of OneMap APIs. And do check out the other webinars for the rest of the day. Thank you very much and have a good day.